Hi everyone, it's Charity from Scrap Fair here with another project to share with you. This is a little Maya Road teapot album that I made for my friend for her birthday. So the title of the album is Tea for Two, and I used the Pink Paisley Butterfly Garden paper. That's the only paper that I used. That's for the tags and for all the background tag holders and little simulated doilies. I cut all these shapes out on my Cricut using my Gypsy. I made that doily shape myself by putting little circles in a scallop circle because I didn't actually have a doily shaped Cricut cartridge. And I did a lot of fussy cutting. That little bird was fussy cut, and then I pop dotted it up so a photo can go behind him. And all of the shapes in there, like the chipboard shapes, that paper was just too pretty to put anything on. All the chipboard shapes in there came with the album. The covers were actually pieces that you could cut out. That seam binding ribbon is seam binding that just came in the mail from Carla001's Etsy. It came really fast. I only check my mailbox about once a week. But the little tea bag is a chipboard piece that came with the album, and that's some Recollections Say It in Pearls with the little flowers. That little teacup came with the album. It was plain chipboard, and then I fussy cut that doily out of the paper and kind of fluffed it up and put it behind the teacup. There's some more tags. This is one of my favorite little tag holder pieces. I love that shape that's similar to a top note shape. And I have a bunch of tags that I cut out because any paper that I had left over I cut into cute tag shapes and just stuck in there because that paper is so beautiful. I didn't want to waste any of it. So there's a whole lot more tags in there than I had planned on originally, and I used my frayed burlap to edge everything. And then there's some Say It in Pearls there, and I left a little bit of the plastic so a photo could go under it. And coming up here, since we looked at the mini, I have a little demo on how I did cover the basic chipboard, the painting techniques that I used. I used a couple of different kinds of paint. And first of all, I covered all the chipboard pieces in 2 layers with just some cream color apple barrel cheap acrylic paint. Oh wait, no, I used the Ranger Dauber, I'm sorry, and that's a cream color. And I used so much of it that I finally eventually just took the Dauber lid off and used my finger because it was much faster than using the Dauber. This one I've had a while, and it had obviously been in my scrapbook store a while because the paint in this Dauber was way thicker than the other ones that I'd had and used. I only have a few colors in the Dauber paint. My favorites are the gold and silver, though. I use those all the time. And I'm going to use the silver to edge this in just a minute. I think I left it in there. But all of the chipboard pieces of the teapot got 2 coats of this. And then the front and back cover, I used some of the Tim Holtz Distress Crackle paint in Picket Fence, and you're going to see me do that in just a second. But I wanted to show you, I didn't just do 1 coat, I did 2 to give this chipboard a really good covering in the off-white paint. So here I'm going over with the Picket Fence Distress Crackle paint, and the trick to this crackle paint, if you want good cracklage, is to put a super thick coat on there. You cannot put it too thick. I love the way this stuff crackles. I have it in several colors, and when I purchased it, the ladies at my scrapbook store told me it would only last a few months, but I've had this stuff, gosh, almost a year now, and it's still good. I keep it sealed up really tight. I did finally almost use all of the white to cover the front and back. I had probably about half a thing left, but I just piled it on because I wanted good cracklage on my teapot, and I think it adds so much to this little chipboard book. Like I said, did it to the front cover and then the back cover. That's all that I did. Now, you could have done it throughout the whole book. It would have been beautiful, but I really just wanted to focus on the paper because the paper line was so pretty. I even did the handle, and really it does look like it might be some aged, crackled china that the book is. It's so pretty in person. I hope some of it comes through on the camera. I wasn't sure how my lighting was for this. And I set my camera up at a new angle, so I'm thinking this may be better for you to see what I'm doing. But maybe not, because it looks like my hands are getting in the way. Like I said, I piled it on super thick. I tried not to remember not to go over places too many times, but basically if you see me going back over a spot, it's to just lay more paint on it. It's a very, very messy process, and I'm so glad that I have both my Ranger Craft mat and my Tattered Angels misting mat. I work on those surfaces all the time, and if I didn't, my table would be ruined, and I craft on my dining room table now, so that would not be very good. I'm just going to show you a couple of other things that I did to make the book. I'm not showing you the whole process of the embellishing and everything because I've been sick for a week and I had to kind of put it down, and I just finished it this morning. But I cut the paper in half, the papers that I wanted to use for the doilies and for the backgrounds. And like I said, I designed the shapes that I wanted on my gypsy and cut them out of my Cricut. I have less than 20 cartridges, so I don't think I'm too bad. And I just went ahead and cut those out real quick, and I cut 4 shapes at a time. I try to always, cut a whole mat's worth, but I did cut my paper up into strips so that I could use different paper. In this paper collection, y'all, I know a lot of you have used it already and have seen it. It's so beautiful. I highly recommend just getting a few sheets to get it out of your system if you don't want to get the whole paper pack. And I really think my friend is going to love it. Like I said, I did all of the edges with frayed burlap. That's my newest Distress Ink color. I'm so sorry I'm sniffing, y'all. I've been so sick. And I always use the little ink blending tool. I like it. I do find it works better for me to use the ink blending tool than to use just a regular sponge. But, it's whatever works better for you. It's certainly not wrong to just use a cosmetic sponge. And I have loved seeing this folded and rolled paper technique that so many people have used, and I just never had the nerve to try it. So I just went at it and I ripped that doily for the cover. And I wound up using a good amount of frayed burlap in this book. I didn't go back and edge my tags just because I thought, well, if they have writing or photos that get put on them, it'll be nice to keep it lighter, to kind of keep the album light. But all of the doilies and all of the background shapes got covered in frayed burlap. And it took me a little while to get the hang of this roll. I wanted to ink it really well. And I wound up actually gluing it open, gluing the little rolls when I had them the way I wanted. And I think it's so funny that I took so much time to make something look so imperfect, but it had to be perfectly imperfect, if you know what I mean. I think that's kind of a real funny oxymoron for things to be perfectly imperfect. But I know you all know what I'm talking about. I use my cutter bees a lot because I did a lot of fussy cutting out of the paper. There are so many beautiful shapes and images. The fairy lady with her big beautiful butterfly wings, and I cut out several butterflies, and I even used Flower Soft to make those little stems on the front. It's a new color, Flower Soft, from this year. And you can see me, I worried and worried about having that rolled open and making it look perfect. I felt a lot better about it after I glued it down because then I didn't worry about it moving anymore. I've just seen it done so many times. I also want to do the corset stitching on something. I haven't done that yet either, but I've admired it on a lot of people's work. And even if some people are getting tired of it, I'm not. So I used Gold Glimmer Mist and misted the stew out of this piece of paper. And I usually blot my Glimmer Mist. It also makes the ink a lot softer. So I like misting after I've distress inked over something because it makes me happy. It makes everything look soft and pretty, and I really wanted this book to be soft and pretty and feminine, and I think I achieved that. That's another one of my favorite pieces, that tag holder there that's the top note shape that I also rolled open. I did it in a few places, and this is one of my favorite things to use. It's that Claudine Helmuth Studio Matte Medium. It's great for doing image transfers, but also that's how I glued all my doilies and all my holders to the actual teapot. It does a great job. It's super strong hold. It doesn't bend my paper. You can spread it with your finger, which I usually have a whole bunch of those little sponges. You get a whole bunch of them when they're like 20 for $1 or whatever at Michael's. But I've run out, and the last time they were on sale, I forgot to go pick some up. I said for 2 days I'm going to go buy some of those little sponges, and I forgot. And every time I go in there now, I cannot think for the life of me to get those. So I'm going to have to get some more, but I've been doing a lot of stuff with my fingers, and I don't mind painting or inking with my fingers at all. So I just get in there and go for it. And like I said, that's how all of my little backgrounds, and I didn't want to cover the whole teapot. I mean, that's why I went to the trouble to paint the chipboard, so I could use the paper as an accent. And I also think it kind of makes the paper stand out more because the whole teapot is not covered. And it was certainly a lot easier than trying to cover and file all the edges, which I do not enjoy. I love doing mini books, but if they're shaped, I do not enjoy the filing of all those edges. It wears my arms out, and I've had some trouble with repetitive injuries in the past, so I try not to do anything where I'm going to injure myself. That paper's so pretty. Even though I cut it a little big, some of the doilies, I liked them sticking out, so I left them. And I didn't hang a whole lot of fibers or anything off. I don't know if you saw, I just put a bow on the chain. That was the actual Meyer Road chain, and I was trying to decide if I was going to put tags in it or not when I first made it. Like I said, I just finished it today, and this video was probably shot 2 or 3 weeks ago. I just got really busy, but I would love it if you would leave me a comment. This is me edging in the silver Adirondack dauber. Leave me a comment, subscribe, rate. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.